Welcome back, my friends. It's good to be with you again. Welcome to Breathe Deeply. I'm a lucky guy. As you know, I have a lot of kids, and we were doing our whole rigmarole the other night, putting our kids to bed, and my son Mateo, who's 7, really close to 8, he says, "Dad, come up, put me to bed, and I'll give you a back rub." Well, he knows how to get to my heart. So I'm making my rounds, putting the kids to bed, and I finally jump up on his bunk. And then not only was I going to get a back rub, but this guy already had a whole bunch of lotion in his hands, and he lathered up my back, and he gave me a good old back rub. Well, to my surprise, he actually did a great job. He has muscular little thumbs. He says, "Dad, it comes from playing hockey and video games. So the more I play video games, the more I can rub your back properly. The more I rub your back properly, the more I can play video games." It makes sense to me. Anyway, it was awesome. And we were chatting away as he's rubbing my back. And I said, "Mateo, you are good at this. Like, I can't believe how good you are." He says, "You know, Dad, I was thinking that if I fail at becoming the Prime Minister, maybe I'll work at a spa." I love that. And then the other day he says, "If I fail at becoming Prime Minister and then I can't work with my brother Caden, then maybe I'll work at a spa or rub somebody's back." I just love it. His very simple mindset these days. Meanwhile, all of us adults are kind of concerned with all sorts of stuff like the COVID thing and the economy. And here makes great sense to him that he'll give it a shot of being the Prime Minister. Unless he fails, then he'll rub some backs. I love it. And I think as we grow up, we often get better at stuff. But I think one area where we actually struggle, where perhaps we get worse and we got to work at it, is the whole area of trust. Learning to trust. I mean, in a healthy relationship, in a healthy family, kids should be able to trust their parents. And I love that because oftentimes I see it in a statement or some of the things that my kids do, some of the presumptions they make, and really it's based on trust. And it seems as though trust is pretty hard to cultivate these days in light of some of our circumstances. Like right now, it seems as though we've cultivated a little bit of a sense or a culture of mistrust or suspicion when it comes to sometimes our politicians, sometimes when it comes to fake news, or even if you turn on any kind of multimedia these days, you have your pick of any kind of conspiracy theory that's made its way into our mainstream thought. I mean, we do have lots of areas that probably should concern us. Obviously, the concern of getting sick, the concern of our economy, or even the concern of perhaps paying our rent, or will I get my job back? Or the list goes on. But I was thinking of a good old psalm, or a good old proverb that many of you know. It's, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart. Lean not on your own understandings. In all your ways acknowledge Him first, and He'll make your path straight." I love it. It's one of my favorite psalms favorite proverbs that I've been quoting forever. But I read it today out of the Message, and let me read it for you. "Trust God from the bottom of your heart," he says. Trust God from the bottom of your heart. So I looked up trust, and it's kind of interesting because trust is the exact opposite of we're suspicious of some stuff going on these days. Trust is actually unsuspecting. It's careless, like not I don't care, but it's careless, almost carefree. It comes with the connotations that you can actually feel safe. You can feel confident. You can trust in the Lord with all your heart. It goes on to say, don't try and figure out everything on your own. Don't try and figure out everything on your own. Listen for God's voice in everything you do, in everywhere you go. He's the one who will keep you on track. Now I got to pause there, and it's really calling us to listen. Shh. Breathe deeply. Listen for what God is saying. I've heard many people comment on one of the good things about this whole slowdown in our whole society is the clarity of the water when you go to the ocean or the lake. and the birds that you hear singing in the morning. And here I love it because I think this is also a great time for us to learn how to cultivate our listening skills, paying attention to how God wants to speak to us, how He wants to move in our lives, and just simply be aware of His presence no matter what you're going through. Learning to trust, perhaps. It goes on to say, don't assume that you know it all. So really He's nailing us here for trying to be logical about everything. He's saying, listen for God's voice in everything. He's the one that's going to be everywhere and will keep us on track. And don't assume that you know it all. He goes on, run to God and run from evil. Run to God. Run from evil. Your body will glow with health. Your very bones will vibrate with life. Honor God with everything you own. Give Him the first and the best. Your barns will burst and your wine vats will brim over. That sounds pretty good. But I want to go back here. It says your body will glow with health. Your very bones will vibrate with life. What a beautiful word picture. He's really talking about when we actually run to God and run from evil, or maybe we run to trust and we run away from fear. When we learn to listen to the still small voice of God and not every media outlet that's out there, cultivating, breathing deeply, cultivating listening, He's really saying that your bones will vibrate with life. It'll bring a perspective of health to your emotions, your spirit, and even physically. So my friends, as we re-look at Proverbs 3, 5, and 6, or 5 right till about 10, He's really inviting us again to breathe deeply into His presence, to maybe unplug from some of the worries, unplug from some of the media, unplug from Facebook and Instagram, and plug into what He has for you. Plug into His presence. Plug into cultivating a sense of listening for His still small voice, and you will get healthier. Your emotions will spring up and vibrate. I think you'll even feel a health injected into your spirit and into your body and into your emotions. So let's try that this week. Let's breathe deeply.
You unravel me with a melody. You surround me with a song of deliverance from my enemies. And all my fears are gone. I'm no longer a slave to fear. I am a child of God. I'm no longer a slave to fear. I am a child of God. From my mother's womb, you have chosen me. Love has called my name. I've been born again to your family. Your blood flows through my veins. I'm no longer a slave to fear. I am a child of God. I'm no longer a slave to fear. I am a child of God. I am surrounded by the arms of the Father. I am surrounded. Songs of deliverance. We've been liberated from our bondage. We're the sons and the daughters. Let us sing our freedom. Oh, 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 you split the sea so I can walk right through. My fears were drowned in perfect love. You rescued me so I can stand and sing. I am a child of God. You split the sea so I can walk right through it. My fears were drowned in perfect love. You rescued me so I can stand and sing. I am a child of God. I am a child of God. Say that with me. I am a child of God, full of favor. I am a child of God. I am a child of God.